Welcome back to Compliance in an Hour. This is your host, Ryan. We have 9 policies to cover quickly today, so let's jump right in. Last time we covered the written information security policy, which we talked about being the control policy for the rest of these other policies. But we are going to jump right into the termination policy. And the purpose of the termination policy is first in line because this is where a lot of breaches happen. And it's when you have turnover and staff is leaving, that access that they had, whether it be a key to the building or a code or the voicemail password, or access to the computers for their login or their email or anything else should be terminated. And so that is very important to help keep the business safe as employees cycle through. The next policy is the security incident procedures. What happens if we do have a breach? How do we deal with that? And really understanding what a breach is and understanding what we are going to go through if that does happen in terms of notifying people of the breach and how quickly we need to do that and a written notice of that and how we are going to get that word out. And we do have also a place to be able to document any type of breaches, which is very important. The next policy is the sanction policy. This policy is the, hey, what happens if we don't follow the rules policy? And if we can't follow the acceptable computer use rules, we are going to do things like give a verbal warning and followed by a written warning, an education and escalating the consequences as we move forward. So policy number 5, network security. This is a lot of what your IT vendor does. They are there to keep you safe. They're there to update the computers. They are there to put on the security to keep you safe. And there's a lot of things that they do to help make that happen. The next policy is the access policy. This has a lot to do with MFA and keeping strong passwords and having screen lock turned on and making sure that we're using encryption if we're sending sensitive information. The next policy is the acceptable use policy. So this has a whole bullet point of lists of what we shouldn't be doing. And it can all be summed up by saying we use computers for business and business only. The disposal procedure means we don't want those old computers around. We don't want those old servers around. If there's anything that has sensitive information, we want to get rid of that. And we can easily avoid a breach simply by getting rid of a lot of these older machines. And so that is important. The bring your own device policy, what happens when we start accessing business resources on personal devices and best practices in terms how to stay safe. And there is a lot of talk about that, and we would like to further that conversation. The facility access plan, are we locking our doors? Are we locking our windows? Do we have a clean desk policy? What is our physical security looking like? Do we have cameras? Do we have alarm systems? And so those are all of the rest of the policies, and we did it all in under 5 minutes. So thank you so much for joining us in this next segment, and we hope you're back for the next one. Thank you.